Hello everyone and welcome to the PlayStation Access podcast. This week we're taking inspiration from the USA to get grateful about video games, hosting our own Thanksgiving to say a big old thank you to our favourites. Expect arguments over what PlayStation shape each host is, a couple of thoughtful answers, and some green bean discoveries. Thank you! Hello everybody, welcome to PlayStation Access, the official podcast of PlayStation UK, where this week we're taking a trip across the pond.
Oh.
I say UK, but it's UK.
Literally.
And US.
We're going on a trip.
Yeah.
Oh,
our minds.
Did I need to bring... Oh. It's always in the minds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always in the minds.
To be fair, it's more fun in the mind sometimes, isn't it? Who knows where you're going to go?
Trips abroad are always better in person than in the mind.
I mean, it saves 9 hours of a plane ride.
It's true, yeah.
So,
flights can be tedious.
But we're heading over there because this week, I believe, the little American fairy told me that it's been Thanksgiving.
Oh!
I figured we could talk about stuff that we're thankful for.
Nothing.
End the podcast.
This is how far I've run out of ideas. So thanks, y'all, for your inspiration. I have given you some Thanksgiving food names this week because I figured to keep it on theme and to keep it delicious, we'd go for food because that's a classic staple of Thanksgiving. Now, if you're very British and you don't know what Thanksgiving is, I assume you do because we've all seen a lot of Friends. It's where people sit around and eat turkey and say thank
It's
you.
like pre-Christmas.
Yeah, it's just like Christmas.
It's like preview Christmas.
Yeah.
One. I don't think we really get it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've got the kind of Friends version and movies version of what it is. It's just a good meal.
It's the day where they say thank you for all the things I've got before they all go out and buy loads of new things very cheaply.
Yes,
I like
for the
that.
holidays.
I
Yeah.
love that Black Friday and Cyber Monday have come over here. Anyway, the names. So easy peasy for me. Mashed potato.
Yeah, that was easy.
Mashed potato.
Yeah.
But you can't have a Thanksgiving dinner without the main event, which is the bird. So we've got a roasty turkey.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say about the turkey.
Roasty.
I'm a roasty turkey.
That was
And
good.
another classic which I found from Googling extensively is that green beans are used in lots of dishes.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a green bean casserob.
He knew it was going to be bad.
It could have been a grob bob casserole.
Why does it have to be green bean? Just any casserob, surely.
Well, we don't know. It could be a Thanksgiving tradition that it's specifically green beans. Ash did the extensive Googling.
I did.
We have to take her word for it
We
on
needed
this.
some green beans in, and you are the
We
casserole.
have to take her word on this.
Yes, and to finish it all off, what goes on top? The jug of Davy.
Yeah. I was thinking gravy. How have you linked that with Dave? And then there you go.
Davey, there it was.
Right there.
That's me.
And what a delicious treat we'll make together.
I bring you all together.
What flavour, Davy, would you like to be?
Oh, what flavours are there? I
don't
thought
know.
I'd have to be roasty turkey flavour.
Onion and sage.
Yeah.
Or
Wait, it's sage and onion, not onion and sage.
She's right.
That was
You got to
weird.
accept that, Rob.
That was weird.
That's true.
I didn't like
No
that.
one's ever said onion and sage.
why?
It's just one of the unwritten rules of English speaking we have. There's an order to things. We don't know why it's the order.
Yeah.
It just is.
It just sounds nice.
Yeah.
Moving on from that travesty.
Yeah, sorry.
Let me give you a
First
preview
feelings.
of what we're going to talk about in this week's podcast. So we're going to have a main feature, and it's going to be games that we're thankful for and to. It's basically a lovely little recap of stuff that we're like, hell yeah, thanks games. It's just a nice episode for nice things. So let's go.
I love that you're already like, stop being me. Just enjoy the episode. I think you've heard people going, I don't get it. What's this? Like, you'll like it. Trust it. You'll like
It'll
it.
be good.
You're going to love it.
It'll be fine.
Just stick with it.
We then got comments of the week, which are community highlights from the hashtag Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
And then going to go to Before We Go, which is some coverage outside of gaming to prove we are real life flesh people.
Before we go.
People.
Yes. Oh my God. We're obviously going to go today for the TV listings on that one. And then we have to start off with the beginning. I say and then. It's a time loop because I'm coming back around. And then the beginning, which is happening now, which is what's new. So, what is new, everyone?
It's new that we've got everybody in a podcast.
It's been a while.
It's the first time in
Look at us all
ages.
Yeah,
together. I
it's been a
mean,
while.
we couldn't have our delicious Thanksgiving dinner meal pun names if all 4 of us weren't here.
Exactly.
No, where would we be without green bean casserole?
Yeah.
I don't know. Thanksgiving would be ruined.
It's definitely the dish we could all do without. We've got the potato, the meat and the gravy,
Yeah.
and I'm the green beans. Just on the plate because they have to be
Yeah,
there.
just pushed around
Yeah.
around the
You're
side.
the lovely nutrition. You're the healthy,
Yeah.
the
I
healthiest
mean,
part.
you did not see these green beans. They were not nutritious.
Oh, really?
They were like
Covered in
crispy-
buttery. Buttery goodness.
Covered in what?
Buttery.
Buttery.
Buttery. I said buttery. And then added goodness to make it sound like I wasn't a complete idiot.
Oh, it's covered in buttery. They looked like deep fried, like crispy,
Oh,
crunchy.
wow.
It looked really good. Honestly, you're going to get so many people in the comments being like green bean King Rob, and
To be fair, my
Green bean.
impression of a Thanksgiving, and again, this is as someone who hasn't ever done one, is that there isn't anything healthy on that plate,
no, yeah,
and that's partly why it's amazing.
and it should be like all orange
It's
and
just
beige.
all like
British tapas, where it's like, chicken nuggets, smiley faces,
sausage rolls.
yeah, all the beige
What?
food.
I thought it was just like Christmas dinner
yeah.
again.
yeah, but it is, but like even less healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, a Christmas dinner isn't that
What's
healthy.
unhealthy about a Christmas dinner?
Well, you can make it more unhealthy. For example, you could have,
Potatoes,
let's say you have
turkey,
cauliflower,
vegetables.
throw that away, cauliflower cheese.
Yeah,
boom. You got green beans, throw them away, deep fried green beans.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You take the healthy things, you amplify, you cover them in other things
You
that
got to make
aren't so
them
healthy.
delicious, covered
Yeah.
in buttery.
Yeah, covered in buttery.
Yeah, if you have a Christmas dinner, if you're just having boiled vegetables and meat, I pity the man.
Yeah,
A pity.
she does.
But I'm sure you're not.
I'm not what?
You've got loads of Davy all over it anyway.
Yeah.
That's me. It was a gravy. Are you okay, Rob? You seem
Yeah,
lost.
I don't. What's everyone looking at me for?
Because we're having a conversation with you.
Old Uncle Rob. Right. It's just like Thanksgiving. Kids, what are you doing? Right. So, for our recent releases in What's New, Dredge, the Pale Reach DLC, came out.
What?
On the 16th of November, which is, I shall reveal, the time we're actually recording
You're
this.
supposed to tell me this sooner, Ash. Come on.
It came out 2 hours ago.
Oh my God.
It's all right.
Have you played it yet?
No, I got the code though.
Oh, great. The one code.
Yeah, don't worry, there will be more. But I've picked it up and got it sorted, but I haven't been home to play it yet because it's
Yes.
just been today.
Oh, that's
so
exciting.
I'm so excited to jump into it. Obviously, everyone will have had a week with it by the time this
dive
comes out.
into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice one.
But I don't want to dive into it because I think that would mean that my little man in this fishing boat is dead. So
Oh, yeah.
Maybe avoid that one.
yeah. But the Pale Reach is basically like ice fishing and a snowy new climb that you can go to.
Ooh.
So there was some really interesting bits in the trailer. It was a very short trailer, which I love because Dredge is all about the mystery, the magic of a Lovecraftian fishing simulator. And we haven't seen any...
I know, it is fun. I was like,
What?
just the pitch. Like you said it like it's a well-known genre.
like a lower third.
Yeah.
What's the genre?
Yes.
Lovecraftian fishing simulator.
Yeah, it's a Lovecraftian fishing simulator. That well-known genre, like it's an
Top
overcrowded
10
market.
Lovecraftian fishing simulators on PS5.
Yeah,
It's the next top 10 we're doing.
There's too much choice, really. Okay, I love Dredge. I've been like a Dredge obsessive, a Dredge head. I know you have as well, Dave, that you love it, but like I feel like it's just been special to me. If I'm thankful for anything this year, it's Dredge. I felt like it's really special. I'm really excited that it's getting more DLC so soon, and that it's a completely different climb than what we've had recently. Previously, I should say, rather than recently, and that it has so many new things in it. So there was like these frozen people that you were talking to, like in ice cubes, who were like, "Watch out, don't crack it."
Don't do what I did.
And then like in the boat, you could see different fish to be caught, obviously, because it's a new area with a new type of hook that you need, an ice hook. But there were like frozen blocks of ice in there as well, and there's just interesting things that you could pick up, and new like creatures that come after you when you get a bit too scared and insane in the dead of night. So there was like a big Yeti looking thing that was jumping at the boat, which is really exciting. So I am so happy to jump into this. You know what? If I remember to do this, I will be amazed, but I will post a small comment in the YouTube video saying I really liked it. And
just in that tonality as well, just all lowercase.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
And a reason why. So you can see that in the YouTube comment as well when I've had my hands on it, because it'll be out by the time this gets published. The next thing that has come out recently, also on the 16th of November, is Power Wash Simulator Back to the Future Special Pack DLC.
I love that Power Wash Simulator does this.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so good. And I love Back to the Future. It's
So
like one
just,
of my
are you
favourite
cleaning
movies.
the DeLorean in it?
There's 5 different areas that you get to clean, which is Doc Brown's van, the Time Machine, the Hill Valley Clock Tower, the Holomax Theatre, and Doc's Time Train as well. So we're going Back to the Future 3 up in here.
It's all the movies taken care of.
But yeah, the DeLorean is obviously the one that you're going to be wanting to clean.
I think the clock tower would be nice, to be honest.
I wouldn't want to get hit by lightning, though.
No, well, that's a good point. I wouldn't do it during a storm.
See, I was thinking the train. Immediately, the train's one that I was just like...
Dusty.
Dusty. And also, I think Back to the Future 3 is a fun film, so I'm always...
It is a fun film.
It's a fun film. It's a time-travelling train, so...
Need I say any more?
We've already got the DeLorean, now we've got a Wild West train, so obviously the DeLorean's the easy pickings there for, like, I can't wait to clean this, but I think the train, I'm quite excited for the train.
Yeah, you're going to get all in the wheels and spokes. Is it spokes on a train wheel?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you going to clean the steam?
Are you trying to do train bits?
Yeah.
The coupling?
I like this. Keep on going.
Are you going to clean the grill on the front?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Are you going to clean the window?
Yes. We're going to clean it all, Ash.
Yeah.
Please stop asking. We're going to, honestly, everything that is the train, we're going to clean it. That's made me think also that it would be great if Red Dead Redemption 2 did a bit of
train cleaning.
Back to the Future DLC. Wouldn't that be good?
I love it. Back to the Future DLC.
You can see Doc Brown's in it and Clara.
Yeah, Clara.
The teacher.
It does sound like the kind of Easter egg that they would put in the game somewhere.
A time-travelling
just
train.
a mad time-travelling professor just turns up somewhere with wild hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then disappears.
Yeah.
But Power Wash Sim's done it first, so well played.
They have, so you can all get cleaning and scrubbing on all sorts of, I don't know why I said it like that.
Machinery.
You get cleaning and scrubbing on all sorts of Back to the Future goodies. Also out recently, so very recently for us in the past, PlayStation Portal has just come out as well. So
there's one in the office.
I turned to look at it.
I can see it right now.
There it is.
Would you say anything, sir? But, do you have any comments? But yeah, that's a gorgeous little streaming device that has dual sense like controller on either side. It's great. It's so lightweight as well. We've been playing with it ever. Rosie, you've been covering it mostly, haven't you? You've been lying on this sofa.
I've been the model. I've been the model for it. Yeah. So I've been the one who's been hooking it up and trying all sorts of different sofa poses, like using it. Honestly, we did the short and we were just like, how many poses can we be on a sofa to show how you could just play this new handheld
I saw
device?
Rosie, I enjoyed that bit. I was like, wait, you really did commit to that. You did like about 6 different poses. I don't know how you thought of them all. I'm very tempted to borrow it
no
for a while for extensive research purposes. It's important for us to understand all of PlayStation's hardware, and I think I should borrow it to make sure I really understand PlayStation Portal.
Well, we've made a video so you can understand it, Dave, so you just watch that.
Yeah,
I've watched that and it made me think I should make an expert guide to PlayStation Portal, so I'm just going to borrow it from it. Just for a bit.
You just want to play it on the toilet relentlessly. That's what it is.
Please don't say relentlessly. I would try it in all the rooms of my house. Yes, one of which would include the bathroom, Ash. You are correct.
You could just say you're having a bath, but you're like, no, definitely the bog.
I did the bathroom. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well,
maybe not the shower. I wouldn't try it in the shower.
Would you try it in your garden, Rob, with an adventure poo?
What? Camping?
Because I pictured this nice just garden setting, like maybe having a hammock with it, and then you just had to put in the nature poo.
Well, that's what Rob's known for.
I don't do it in the garden.
Just when you can't get out on a big hike, you're like, right, let's go.
Only public land. It's the only place he's doing it.
The silent shake of the head.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a little roundup of what's come out recently. It's been some chunky DLCs and a new piece of hardware, which is a short but sweet roundup before we move on to our main features. So let's go and head on over there. All right, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, thanks.
I think that's what they do.
Oh, I guess.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I really don't know anything about besides that there's loads of delicious food. So
People argue.
yeah.
Like my only experience of Thanksgiving is through watching television programs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's always a big drama. Like
Yeah.
someone can't come
Yeah.
or someone's invited and they show up late. Or
Has anyone watched
food-
The Bear yet? I recommended The Bear.
No.
Great Thanksgiving episode.
No.
Really good.
Oh,
But he's
okay.
right. Lots of arguments.
Oh, is that because they're all chefs though?
No, there's only one chef.
Oh, but he's arguing.
But he's not cooking. His mum's cooking.
Oh, and they argue.
Everybody argues.
Oh.
Lots of arguing. But I think the arguments come from a good place, don't they? Do they?
I don't know.
Isn't it like
I don't know what the argument
we
is.
love
like.
each other?
They all sit down and they realise, oh, sorry for arguing.
Yeah.
I'm really thankful that you're my brother. Ooh. That's how it goes.
Someone's been watching the Hallmark channel. Right. So I wanted to base this kind of around a thankful premise off of the back of Thanksgiving, which I thought would just be an interesting way of us talking about kind of games that have shaped us or changed us or had like a big impact on our life. So I've got some massive questions for you in this one.
Oh,
It's just an
goodness.
idle bit of soul searching. So
Okay.
I hope you're excited
Yeah,
for
just bare your soul.
yeah. So I thought it'd be a first one that, we can easily all just be like, thanks game is, what was the game that got you into gaming? What was the one that like started you off? Huh? Rhett?
Well, I always say I've got the big four, which
I said one.
I
One,
know.
Rosie.
I know. I've got.
Well, let me
the
just give
big
a shout out
four.
to Bloodborne.
One game.
Well, if it's going to be the one, it's going to be the first game I ever played from memory, and that is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped.
No, that is a good game.
It's hard to say when you've literally your earliest memories are with the PlayStation 1. Like literally, I don't know a time where I haven't been with a PlayStation console. So
She's right, there's one in here right now. So she's
one in here
always
right
got one nearby.
all the time.
She can never be more than 4 meters from a PlayStation. That's
Rosie's like spiders with PlayStation. Like they're lurking everywhere.
So I would have to say Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped.
Yeah. What are the other three out of interest?
Out of interest. So the other, it was like the 4, which I
Can we
say were the
guess?
first one.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to? You
we
can
should
guess.
all do a Rosie guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can start.
Parappa the Rapper.
Oh, I was going to say
No, that wasn't one of the first games I
Oh.
played.
Oh, we've got a loser.
Oh, right, okay. Well, it wasn't the first games that you played. It was the games that got you into gaming. just
Yeah,
to
but
be
these
clear.
4 games were the first I played, so they got me into gaming.
Right, okay.
Parappa the Rapper I've just loved ever since I've been introduced to Parappa on the PS1 demo.
Okay.
But it didn't introduce me to gaming.
I think I've got one because I know that you love her and she's been around Lara Croft.
Tomb Raider 1, that's one of them.
Come on, Rob.
Jungle Book Groove Party.
Oh, that's a great shout, but that came later down the line, sadly.
Okay, we've got
But that's
2
a-
more.
I
We've
love
got
that
2
game.
more.
We've got 2 more.
So, oh my goodness, what about
Oddworld. Abe's Odyssey.
Another great shout, and that might pop up later on in a
Whoa.
conversation.
Oh.
Somebody's read my plan. Okay, what about Guitar Man?
But that was on PlayStation 2. But I appreciate that you brought it back to the podcast.
Put us out of our misery, Rosie. What were they?
Okay, Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon
Oh, Spyro.
and Tekken 2.
Oh, okay.
Those are
Sure.
the
Could've got
4
those.
PS1 games that I first played, and so that's why I say the 4 of those got me into gaming.
We could have got those, I reckon.
We could have.
We could have got Spyro for sure.
Yeah.
Because Crash and Spyro go together like jam and...
Peanut butter.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
Like
and a little American
Yeah.
nod there.
Nice.
PB&J, they
Yeah.
might
Yeah,
say.
they call it jelly instead of
They
jam.
do, yeah, that's true.
Oh, excuse me.
Still J, though.
Jelly. There we go.
Yeah.
we can edit that in over the top. So yeah, Dave, what about you? What was the game that got you into gaming that you're thankful for?
Well, a bit like Rosie. I don't know. I feel like I've always just been interested in gaming. I can remember as a very young boy just meeting other kids and just being like, "Do you have a computer? Can I come and play?
Can I come to your house?
Can I come and play games at your house?
Got
Have you
any games on your phone?
You got any games? And this was pre-PlayStation. I am older than the PlayStation. I've got to say it now.
Breathe.
Yeah. So I just was always, for some reason, interested in video games. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from. I didn't have any brothers or sisters. My parents weren't into video games. I don't know where it came from. Maybe from like movies or pop culture or something. I was seeing video games, but my real answer, probably the one that really I remember the most being obsessed with, and it is pre-PlayStation, was Sonic the Hedgehog. And I've talked about this before. Like, just in the UK, we had like Currys and Sweb. And Sweb.
I've never heard of Sweb.
It might have been I think it was Southwest Electronics, something or other, and
boutique.
It might have been, yeah. And
business.
They would have, you'd go in and there'd be like loads of TVs and whatever, and they would always have like a little. This was obviously the Mega Drive. They'd have the Mega Drive set up, and I would stand and just watch all the other kids who got there first playing Sonic, whilst my parents went and shopped for a fridge or something. I don't know, and just like I was just like, oh my god, I desperately want to play. And so yeah, it was Sonic the Hedgehog that, and then I did eventually get a Mega Drive, and I played Sonic so much. I loved Sonic, and that really got me into, I guess, like, then I became sort of obsessed with gaming, and knew that this was something that I loved when I was able to game for myself for the first time. So that's my true answer. Weirdly, is probably Sonic the Hedgehog, but I don't have a massive affinity with Sonic the character, but that game, like, I do love, and it's so vibrant. I love the music, the speed. I do love, like, Sonic. Like, he's got so much attitude somehow for a hedgehog that didn't speak at that time or anything, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just great design.
His little tappy foot.
Yeah,
it's that finger waggle, like
yeah, it's the finger wag. It's very good.
You've heard like
no.
And it is crazy just thinking, like,
Rosie was angling for a thumbnail there.
hang on.
And it is crazy just thinking that for me was probably the sort of the start point of this whole thing, and just crazy how far games have come, and thinking back to my first big important gaming experience.
Oh, that's really nice, Dave. And what do you say to Sonic?
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's a bit weird. Thanks, Sonic.
Yay!
Wait, Rosie didn't say thanks. Oh, she would say thanks, no problem.
Thanks, Crash. Thank you, Crash Bandicoot.
Rob, what about you? Who are you saying thank you to?
I probably would have to say thank you to Solid Snake and Metal Gear Solid. It wasn't the first game I played, but it was the first game I think that probably turned me into a video game obsessive. I too remember playing Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. It was one of the games I got very early on after getting my PlayStation, and playing that quite a lot. But I never played it to the extent where I just thought about it every single second of the day, which is what happened when I played Metal Gear Solid. My PlayStation was at my dad's house, and I only went to see my dad on a Sunday. So I would play Metal Gear Solid for as much time as he would allow on a Sunday, and then all the rest of the week I would just be there thinking about Metal Gear Solid. I was not very good at it when I first played it, so it took me a long time to get through the game. And I would just play everything I'd done so far in my head as I was going to sleep. Like, the game would play like a movie in my mind as I went to sleep every night, and I was like, oh, I've done this. And every week the movie would just get slightly longer and slightly longer and slightly longer as I got further and further and further through the game. And it was just, it consumed my every waking thought, and then also my sleeping thoughts as well, because I was thinking about it so much I would dream about Metal Gear Solid. So that was the game that really got me obsessed with gaming, I think. But like Dave, I've always, for some reason, been drawn to video games, and I couldn't really tell you why. My parents, again, never owned games consoles, weren't into games, so I wasn't introduced to games by any of them. There was just, I guess, just a natural urge within me to play video games for some reason. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid, the one that really turned a fleeting urge into something I became very, very passionate about.
And what do you say to Solid Snake?
I've already said thank you to Solid.
God, that was like, your nan saying who do you say thank you to, and then the
It's like
grandchild.
having when you have to phone on Christmas.
Oh, God.
Uncle Stephen's on the phone.
I hate it so much.
Already said hello to Uncle Stephen.
Yeah.
Thanks
for my socks.
I'm waiting to be on the other end of that
Oh,
conversation soon.
Making your daughter be like,
when my young nephews
what do you say?
are like, here's Uncle Rob on the phone. Because I don't want to be on the other end of the conversation either.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Rob, thank you for the Hot Wheels set. And then you have to think of something to ask them like you care.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Solid Snake.
See, that was me as a kid. Whenever someone said, like, oh, it's so-and-so on the phone, I was like, yeah, give me the phone. I want to tell everyone about the thing that they've just gifted me.
I am thankful to Scooby-Doo.
Really?
Mr. Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo in the cyber chat. Mr. Scooby-McDoo is a little-known Scottish version of Scooby-Doo that I think I have. Like, I don't know if it's a Mandela effect. I don't know how to say it. I don't know if I've imagined him or if he is real, but I remember a white dog called Scoobert McDoo who was Scooby's Scottish cousin. Anyway.
I remember there being another dog apart from Scooby and Scrappy.
Yeah, and he wore
a red sort of thing on his head.
yeah, but he like the classic Scottish hat that's
Yeah,
like
like a tartan.
tartan with a little.
Oh, I don't
pom-pom.
remember this character.
Yeah, and he was Scooby McDoo, and he lived in a castle. But nobody else remembers him.
No, I don't remember
What's this
them.
got to do with video games?
Because my favourite is Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase.
Yeah.
I don't know that game.
It's Scooby-Doo, right?
Yeah.
In the Cyber Chase, which was a film that came out as well. So it was like a movie tie-in.
Oh, wow.
And it was a PS1 game, and it was one of the... I loved Scooby-Doo growing up, which I also probably should credit for making me spooky.
I was
because
going to say, like, is there a link there?
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, probably an as yet filtered link about Scooby-Doo and horror movies. But I loved Scooby-Doo, and I feel very strongly about it now. Even still.
Yeah.
And Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase was this movie tie-in that you could play where you had to run, and it's like a platforming game. Rosie's nodding because she knows it as well.
I know. Well, no, I had the VHS of it, so I knew the film, and I always saw the trailer for the video game, and I always wanted to play the video game because I really liked the film.
Yeah.
But it was like something we could never find in like our local shops.
Really?
Yeah, so we never found the video game. It's only been in recent years when I found it in a retro store, and I was like, I'm going to buy Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Finally, I can play it.
I was going to be like, you simply must borrow it.
20 plus years later, I can play it.
It is good. It's all the Scooby-Doo games are good. My favourite Scooby-Doo game is Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights, which I probably have replayed way too many times. Anyway, I love that one so much because it was kind of the crossover medium between films and games. Like, I was already into games because my dad brought me up with them. I would always see him playing them, and we'd play stuff together, like X-Men and Baldur's Gate and all that sort of stuff. I was a PS2 baby. Like, I kind of became a bit more interested as I was a little bit older. Like, I know you were PlayStation from birth.
I was born and it went, wow.
Whereas I had a brief flirtation with ponies and Barbies for a while, and then was like, but games? What about Barbie games?
Those hands together.
I also used to play on our computer Egbert, if you guys remember Egbert.
The name rings a bell.
And Crayola Paint and Play Pony, which I've bought up more than once, like in Running Office. I don't know why I talk about Crayola Paint and Play Pony so much, but I do. But yeah, the Scooby-Doo was the one that I remember most vividly because I remember going to a birthday party in primary school and someone had Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase on as like the entertainment for the evening, like the game, and people would take it in turns trying to go through all the different levels in all the different parts of the world that you'd go through with this like cyber ghost chasing after you. It was just really wholesome, like a proper one. And that was like my memory, you know what I mean? I've got so many with my dad that I remember playing games with him with and going through the co-op versions of, but that one was like my game. And I also think that obviously years and years later, Mass Effect 2 was the one that reintroduced me to how much I like games and liked just sitting on my own and playing things, because I just played that so much and loved it so much, and all the characters in it meant so much to me. They still do now, you know what I mean? So those would be the kind of the double prong there, but they're quite distant in years.
How did you kind of rediscover game? Isn't as much as like, what about Mass Effect? Did someone recommend it to you?
Yeah, my dad.
Oh right, no way.
I think it's because I used to do so much for my dad, and then when I became a teenager, I was going to school and I started learning guitar, and I basically just became a bit more busy and like just I didn't hang out with my dad as much, and then he was still playing stuff and recommended me some games that he was playing, and then we just fell back into it. You know what I mean? Like I played Mass Effect. We were talking about it. We'd always talk about games and different stuff that was going on, but that was the one. And also my friends at school started getting into like BioWare games as well, so we talk about Dragon Age all the time, and that kind of like was like a moment for games to become a little bit more ingrained in our friendship group, because I had one friend who was the mega gamer who made us play board games all the time, which was amazing. Love that. And he was obsessed with video games and became like a video game journalist like before he'd even gotten to uni. Like he's so impressive, all the stuff that he's done. But yeah, that was kind of like the reintroduction with my friends as well, because we both talked about that, and then it kind of spread around the group, so it was nice.
What a lovely story.
Oh yeah, I have to ask the rest, don't I? So my next question, I figured, because we're all in quite a unique and privileged position of working in the games industry. Rob, I know you've spoke about this previously. What is the game that got you into the games industry as well? What made you realise that this was more than just like, you know, a really fun hobby, but like you could do it day in, day out as a job as well?
I don't think there was a game that made... I mean, like I said, I've always loved gaming, and so like it was just like a weird... It was just like it felt like a pipe dream to be able to work in the industry. It was just something I've always would love to have done, and didn't know how I'd do it or go about it. But so I don't think there's a specific game that made me kind of like realise, well, I actually, you know, I have something to contribute. I still don't know if I have something to contribute. I'm just here.
You do.
People on the internet tell me to stop contributing all the time.
We're thankful today. Fan favourite day.
But I can tell you what literally got me into the games industry, which was Batman Arkham City. Because when I applied for the job to work with Nath and Rob, not on PlayStation Access, this was before PlayStation Access, I had to edit a video of Batman Arkham City, an interview with one of the devs on Batman Arkham City. And so I just spent... I was working in London at the time, sleeping on someone's couch, a friend, I should say, not just someone, a friend's couch, and I'd applied for this job, and I thought I had no chance of getting it, and typically like had an email at like 4 o'clock or something. It was probably earlier than that, let's say 1 o'clock, saying like, you've got through to the first round, we want you to edit this video, we need you to send it back no later than like 6 p.m. tomorrow. And I was living in London, as I said, sleeping on someone's couch and doing a job, and I was like, I emailed them back and I was like, I've got a job and I'm not at home, like I've only got this old laptop, is there any way I can have an extension or anything? And they were like, no. No, just you got to get it back. And I had this very stressful night. I was working in London for about 6 weeks in this little block doing this job. And it was the only time ever that the tube let me down. I left work at 6 o'clock and the tubes were just not working. And I didn't know London very well. I didn't know how to get back to my friend's house, except on the route I knew. I ended up taking 3 hours to get back. There was no Uber or anything at this time. And the roads were all chocker because the tubes were all messed up. So I worked through the night from 9 p.m. until, I think, 4 a.m. And then I was too tired, went to sleep, woke up at 7 and worked until like 9 a.m. when I had to leave to get to work. And on this Batman Arkham City interview, so it has this really weird place in my brain, and there was a particular trailer that we got sent to use, and it had this bit of music by The Heavy. So if you know that band, you'll know that trailer, and anytime I hear that music, it takes me back to that night.
Like,
I'm like, it's a really cool track as well. And The Heavy are actually from Bath, which is strange, which is where we now work and where the job was. And so yeah, that game literally got me in as much as that was the little video that I made to kind of show my skills and what I could contribute. But and as such, like, then I got the job, and then we covered Batman Arkham City when it came out. So it's got this weird little kind of place in my heart as slightly in my heart, slightly in my nightmares, because that was a really nightmarish evening trying to get that thing done. But it all worked out for the best.
I would like to clarify that it was not me and Nath who were like, no, you can't have an extension.
No, it wasn't.
Just to clarify.
That's true. That's right. I wouldn't like to.
We're really nice.
It was other people who interviewed me. Yes, that's true.
I love that thought. I love it. I like how Rob sat there the whole time thinking, they're going to think wrongly of me.
They're going to think we're awful.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Nathan Robb. That's very true. But yeah, that's what happened. So that literally got me into the industry.
Nice. That's a good one. That's a proper... I can imagine you just loving and also hating it as well. Like that game, now it's so cinched into your memory from that evening. It was so stressful that evening.
It was so stressful. And I wanted it so badly. And I was so tired, and I was like, I thought I can do better than this, but I'm so tired, and there was no way around it. I don't know. It all worked out for the best somehow, so that's good. But yeah, it's and what an amazing game as well. It turned out to be a really fantastic game, so I'm very pleased.
Woo! How about you, Rosie?
For me, the game that made me want to work in the video game industry was Oddworld New and Tasty, which is where I was like, it's going to come back. So it was Oddworld New and Tasty because, I was already very, very excited for this game's release. And this was also at a point where my brother, Kadikarus, he was like really kicking off with his YouTube channel, and Oddworld Inhabitants knew of his work, and they invited him to interview Lorne Lanning. But my brother needed someone to help with the camera and things like that. And I was just started studying media studies. And so I was already in the phase of like, I knew I wanted to do something in the media. But so I was still finding my roots and figuring things out in where I want to go in life. So Jim gave me this opportunity to come with him. I went, of course, I was like, yes, oh my God. So I went with him, and just being there, meeting Lorne Lanning and the rest of the Oddworld Inhabitants team. And they let us play a bit of New and Tasty, before the game came out and things like that. And just, I will never forget how fantastic it felt just being there, doing something like that. And I just knew that I would just love to be able to do this for the rest of my life. So that's why Oddworld New and Tasty is especially very close to my heart. It's what started that fire of, deciding not only do I love video games and talk about them all the time, but oh my gosh, I'm going to try and make a career from this as well. And then in terms of the game that actually got me into the industry, I guess that's more of a question for Rob and Dave and Nath, because it depends on which video you watched of mine first when I was talking to you about, PlayStation Access Fun Times.
Do you remember?
I just remember watching a reel of you, Rosie, and you're like, what's your intro? Whether you come from this way or that way, you've all got the juice. I was like, we need to get her on the channel.
So any of the video games I've covered, you're like, we need this girl on the channel.
I'm trying to think, Rosie, about the skits. I can't remember, I just remember laughing at your skits so much, but I can't remember which game in particular you were covering in that video.
Which one was the gun shoe one? That
was Bayonetta.
That was it. We were talking about the gun shoe lady for a while. I liked that one.
Yeah, because that was the video I did just, completely joking about the fact that Bayonetta's such a talented and beautiful lady with all these cool moves. And then I come, taping plastic guns to my feet and just being like, stuff like that. So maybe if that's the first video you've watched, I've got to thank Bayonetta for actually getting me into the industry and things like that. So
well, it's also nice that the first game you kind of properly covered for us, I guess, was Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Again,
well.
that's I was going to say, there's loads of angles for me, but Spyro Reignited Trilogy was the first official sort of coverage I did when I went with Holly, my first press trip, which is why I've got my little Spyro badge on my Zoe one.
Didn't you help us out freelance before that on another Spyro video we made?
It was.
I remember we were covering Spyro E3 and we needed some capture of the original Spyro to make like a comparison video.
Yeah, that was me.
And you did some freelance.
I remember that. I remember as soon as you guys offered that, I was immediately like, yes. So I immediately, luckily the PS3 was already hooked up, but my copy of Spyro was actually back in my family's home. So I went on the PlayStation Store because you could purchase it, the PS1 version, digitally on PS3, and I bought them, and I was just like, yes, I'm gonna do this. I know exactly what they're after. So, and I remember sending them to Dan as well, meeting Dan on emails, being like, hi, here's my footage and things like that. Because this was also when I just moved to Bristol as well, so I was just in my room, and I remember hooking up my laptop, putting it on a chair. Wires were going all over the place just so I could capture things. But you got it, and you said you liked it.
I like that you're not still not sure.
No, I was very proud of it. I do remember though getting feedback being like, "Oh, we were hoping that the panning would be slower," and I was like, I remember replying like, back then, this was the only camera speed. The camera would not move any slower.
Again, I want to clarify, that wasn't my feedback. I loved it.
It wasn't like that. It was like, just like, oh, is it possible if we could do it so it was slower? And I was like, the game won't allow me physically to do this. I'm sorry. So yeah, Spyro Reignited Trilogy as well. And then I guess for kind of me being more of a host, I like Jamalami as well, because my first Tuesday checklist when I was doing work experience with you guys and you gave me the chance to present, I talked about Jamalami.
I remember.
So that's so I've also got Jamalami to thank. And my first stream was Resident Evil 4. I've got so many games to be thankful for. I'm so thankful for so many things. Yaksa Like a Dragon was my first really big video on the channel. Oh, so many games.
Oh, I do like that though. I like it when you can kind of have that nostalgia tied to something that you already love, and you're like, and now it's extra special.
Oh, it's even so many things are so special. So thank you to all the games that I've just mentioned.
What about you, Rob? Tell us the story. Play it again, Sam.
Well, I must have told this story a million times on the channel now. I played Final Fantasy 13.
I was going to say Final Fantasy 13.
I had strong opinions about Final Fantasy 13. I wrote a review of Final Fantasy 13. I sent it in to some PlayStation magazines. I made a little magazine which also had a review of Uncharted 2 and FIFA 11 in it. And the magazine was called GMB Magazine, which stood for Give Me a Break. And I put a Kit Kat on the front of this magazine. That was the cover mount.
Yeah, you could have just filtered that right down to I sent Nathan a Kit Kat. That was it. He's like, I like this guy.
I'm thankful to Kit Kats.
I sent 5 people Kit Kats.
Oh, that's how you do it. That's how you impress
I
the
made
office.
5 editions of this magazine and sent it to various influential people.
Yeah.
But Nath was the most influential.
He loved his Kit Kat.
Well, he did like his Kit Kat, yeah. So I got some work experience off the back of that. And that is the start of it, really. I just pestered people after that work experience, got some freelance work, and then got my job as a scriptwriter on Access when it started. So
what about this though, Rob? Because the work experience that you did, I happen to know that you worked on a thing called First Play.
Yeah.
And I happen to know, and First Play was like was it weekly? It was like a weekly video.
It was weekly.
Kind of magazine.
It was
show.
a video edition of Official PlayStation magazine.
Yeah,
that you could buy on
in
the PlayStation Network every week.
And I happen to know that the episode of First Play that Rob worked on his work experience was the worst rated episode of First Play across about 200 episodes.
That's correct, yeah.
And what game?
Rob isn't liking that.
What game was in the episode? Do you remember what you worked on?
I worked on a little Big Planet segment.
No way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So the first Little Big Planet came out. They were in like quite stressed out, like, oh, we need to do this Little Big Planet segment, and I was just like, I'll try. And like, do you know Little Big Planet? I was like, yeah. It's like, can you video edit? Yeah. So I think they were like, oh God, okay. And they just gave it to me to do. Yeah, I think I made a joke about granddads liking Mint Imperials or something like that. I maintain that my Little Big Planet section was not the reason it was the lowest rated episode of First Play on the PlayStation
when you said Little
Store.
Big Planet, then I thought, oh, that's probably not why. I thought maybe
everyone loves that bit.
Everyone loves that bit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that Little Big Planet was there to hold you and look after you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sackboy, for your
Hessian hug.
Hessian hold. Are there any other games you want to shout out, or are those the main ones that you feel were your... Just because Rosie has so many of them.
Well, because Final Fantasy 13 is so directly responsible for me doing that action, which led to me getting where I am now, then I'd have to say that. Like, I don't think there's, I could list all the other games that inspired me and made. I wanted to work in games media for years before I actually did, and I can't think of any one game. Just all of them.
Just all of them.
Was there a writer in games media that inspired you?
Nathan Dighton.
Many, yeah.
I hope it wasn't Nathan Dighton. That would really backfire. If
it wasn't.
Okay, good.
There were many, yeah. I don't know if the names of any of these writers would mean anything to any of you or anyone listening to this.
Oh, it's still nice though. You're just giving thanks.
All right. All right, fine. Dan Dawkins was like a big inspiration to me, a former editor of PSM3 magazine. Who else was there? There was a guy called Steve Williams who also used to work on PSM3, but was a writer across various magazines, and his stuff was just so funny. Like, I always wanted to. I remember reading his stuff thinking, oh, I'd love to be able to write something as funny as this.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. John Blythe, another one, just very, very, very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
those
nice.
would be my top 3.
Well, thank you to those people.
Yeah.
And,
What about you, Ash?
Oh, the game that got me into the games industry was when I started doing journalisty things at university. I wrote for our entertainment magazine, and the very first piece I ever wrote for our entertainment magazine was like a 200-word preview on The Witcher 3, because it was coming out that year. So that would be directly the one. But yeah, I played The Witcher 2 and knew that it would be exciting because I was like, as in for me, because I was like, oh, Witcher 3 is coming out, and then it totally blew my brain. Like, it was so good, it was amazing. So yeah, but that little preview on like trailer footage and stuff, so it was only a tiny thing, but it was. I've always been super self-critical and like stop myself from doing things 'cause I'm like, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't want to do this, blah, blah. And that was the first time I really put myself out there as well, like by just going, right, I'm going to write for this magazine, I'm going to send them my writing, and that's going to be that. And I eventually became the deputy editor of that magazine, where I met loads of great people, made loads of friends, did loads of entertainment writing, and realised that like writing and games and films and all that sort of thing was what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to be an entertainment writer, and I wanted to cover horror. Like, I kind of clocked that, like, I was reading Bloody Disgusting all the time and was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And The Witcher 3 was the start of that, and like that's always been such a special game to me for all the different monsters and mythology. It was just a very big mixing pot, that it's a high fantasy world with loads of dark elements to it. It's just the stuff I really like, you know what I mean? But otherwise, I'm actually not sure what game it would be that I definitely had in my old job. I definitely had like a transitional period where I moved from our film team to our game team, but like I can't remember what game it was that did that. I think it was just because I just knew about games that like ended
something
up happening.
scary, I'm sure.
It must have been. It's either that or Overcooked in it. Like that was the one. But yeah, other than that, for PlayStation Access, the very first video I appeared in, besides my like reveal moment, was Cake Bash.
Oh wow!
Oh my god, was Cake Bash your first?
Cake Bash. It was
Blimey.
Cake Bash, and I loved that game. I was going to platinum it because it was so like but I didn't end up doing it because you need to play with other people. I was just trying to solo it. Like, I should get the platinum because it's so special. But yeah, that was my first PlayStation Access moment, was Cake Bash.
That's
Blimey.
fantastic, which is the same stream because we're all working from home at that point.
Yeah.
And that's the same stream my boyfriend dropped loads of kitchen plates, and I'm the one hosting the stream. So you can just see my face at one point, just go like, completely dropped whilst also hosting the stream.
I thought it was Fall Guys. I have a memory of live streaming Fall Guys and that being your first stream.
No, we definitely did Fall Guys as well a lot in that period, but I'm pretty sure the first ever one was Cake Bash.
More like Plate Bash.
Yeah.
Hey!
And me and Rosie played Little Hope as well in that
We
month, because that's when
did!
that came out.
Yeah.
So I remember lying back in my parents' back room being like, tee-hee, like I'm streaming, which was really fun. But yeah, so I think out of those, The Witcher 3 is definitely the main one, and then Cake Bash is my Access origin story.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
spooky.
similar critical acclaim
Yeah.
for both, I think.
It was
Yeah.
great. I love that game. I had loads of other questions, but you guys have all been so interesting that we've had loads of talking. So I'm going to just wrap it up with one. I'm going to pick one more question to ask you. I guess, what game would you associate most closely, like, with yourself? Like, what if you had to pick a game that represents you and that you're like, hey, thanks game for getting me, what would you choose? Because I think that's a really tough question. So I gave you some time to think about it, and now I want an answer.
This is the one I didn't have an answer for. I think.
I knew you would say that.
I had an answer for it, but the way you've just phrased it now makes me think, oh God, have I misinterpreted the question?
Well, no, like if you had to define yourself by a game, what would your answer be?
I think that Rosie's just literally done like, if I was a game, what game would I be?
I was thinking about a game.
I want to hear that. Whatever you thought the question was, Rosie.
Yeah, let's just
No,
hear
I think
your
I kind of
answer.
got the right vibe, but not like as deep as the way that you were phrasing it right now was. But when I did it, I was just thinking like, who am I as a person, and what game is like that as well, I think. And this isn't, just because, but I did say the Yakuza series because I can be serious and get things done when I need to,
When?
When? Like, if I've got to focus on a video edit and getting things done, like I can have those moments where I fully knuckle down, get in the zone, headphones on. I'm just like, right, much like in the Yakuza games where you've got the main story where it's all very serious and like focused and
Beating people in the face with
not that part, but it's got like that tonality to it. But then on the completely other side is the wacky, zany, funny, silly side as well. So it's like that's the majority of me is that, which is what I think a lot of people do know the Yakuza games for, which is, you see it on social media all the time, the funny gifs, the funny side quests, the side story. Well, yeah, no, the side stories, the things you can do in it. So that's what loads of people see. But it does also have a side to it, which is like, yeah, I'm like really caring about getting things done, and yeah, you know what I mean.
She's
Yeah,
dual.
I do know what you
She's
mean.
got
You have many layers to you, Rosie.
I take care in my work.
No, I think that's a good one. Like I remember now, I was going to say maybe we should do them for each other, but I think you've nailed the nail. You've nailed the nail on the head.
You have nailed the nail.
You've hammered the nail on the head. You've hit the nail on the head. There we go.
Otherwise, it'll probably be Katamari if you just want to go for the full colourful zany route of just like, wow, this is whoa. Then Katamari.
That's Rosie. Whoa.
Whoa! But like, I would associate like Yakuza with you as well, like just from your championing of it on the channel. Like, I think you're a real Yakuza voice, which is really nice.
Aww.
Like, I've never played any of them, but if I,
You could do a better job, Rosie. To be honest.
I mean, that's what I was like when I'm trying to say why I relate to it. I was like, I'm talking in a room of people who have not played as much Yakuza as I have.
Not quite. No.
But how about you, Rob? What would you pick? I think as a series, Final Fantasy would obviously be the one that hits close to home. But do you have a different answer?
As a single game,
Ooh.
I would probably pick Death Stranding because it's a game about a quiet, serious man just walking around, listening to sad music in some nice-looking places, enjoying the rain and looking at the hills.
You don't
and being
like the
"Ooh."
rain that much.
I like looking at it, and I like listening
I
to
sit
it.
next to you at work, and any time it starts raining, you get pretty annoyed.
That's because I know I've got to go out in it on my
Yeah.
lunch break.
Yeah.
Whereas at home, if it's raining at home, I mean, everyone likes doing that, right? Everyone likes looking at the rain if
Oh,
it's
I love
raining.
being
If you don't
cozy.
have to be in it.
I love
in
being
Death
cozy,
Stranding, it's
yeah.
amazing when it starts raining. You build a little shelter and you just stand there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Thank you to the rain.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you to
Thank
the
you
rain.
to the rain.
I do like that as an answer. I do think I don't know why you should care what I think, but I think that is a good answer. And also, like, especially because obviously it's a Hideo Kojima game, and he's been an important part of your career as well, I think, and it's just nice.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
How about you, Dave?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for this. I don't know how to define myself by a game. I think, like, I don't know. What does everyone else think?
Parappa the Rapper, the music man.
I don't know. I don't know if I quite get the criteria, but I don't know if I, sort of have an affinity with anything.
I think, you're the Star Wars man, is true.
That's true.
But like that's as a franchise rather than as a gaming thing. I think you are like a sci-fi game. Like, I don't know particularly which one, because I think you're going to have a little bit more info on this than me. But like, I think you very much love puzzles and working things out. You love being goofy. You love a little laugh and a joke, and you being charismatic. But like, you also love pensive, world-breaking, massive questions that come from deeper within sci-fi genres as well. So I do always think of Outer Wilds, because
I was going to say you're making me think of Outer Wilds, and I would definitely love to have some association with that game. I think it is almost the perfect game for me because it's so about the mechanics of the game. and full of mystery and wonder, and some answers, some questions. I just love the way the story is delivered, and the exploring. I would definitely take that. I'm glad to. I wish I'd thought of that. It's. I think I'd like to define myself as the Outer Wilds, please. It's actually just Outer Wilds. Yeah, I love it.
Excuse me.
It's great. Yeah,
I would define you as Jurassic World Evolution 2 because you're a man who likes to be very organised and will approach a task with the best of intentions. Like, I'm going to be, and this is how this is going to be made. This is how I'm going to do this. And then when something goes wrong, it becomes quite chaotic and funny.
All the dinosaurs are out.
Yeah, but that's often the best bit.
Yeah, right.
It's the best bit.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Rob's also right. That's a deep
Another
cut.
very real answer.
Yeah, that's
from
right.
Rob.
Yeah,
Well, look, you gave us these questions. You're like, think about the answers
I
to
did.
these. So I did.
he did.
I did want a serious answer, so thank you for delivering on
But
them.
what's your serious
go on,
answer,
Ash.
Ash?
I genuinely, I don't know. I think.
Madison.
Yeah, a scared little boy going, "Oh my God, what's happening? Pictures! Let me take some photos." I'm drawn to games that I've played very recently because they're the ones that stick with me the most. Last of Us Part 2 has always been a massive, massive one in me, but I think it's way too serious for who I am as a person. I think Baldur's Gate 3, I think it actually is, because there's so many different, I don't know, I feel like I've got 10 people living in me at any given time. Like, is she going to be silly? Is she going to be really too serious? Yeah, well, is she going to be angry? Is she going to be aggy? I don't know. So, like, I feel like having all those different things in there, and that it does lean heavily on like a horror subplot as well.
And there's cats in it.
Loads of cats, talking cats. It's amazing. I think that would I think I resonate a lot with that. I think Alan Wake 2 recently as well. I'm trying to phrase this not like incredibly darkly, but I feel like that kind of duality of having someone that, you know, is fighting through loads of dark stuff and someone that's also like on the other side of it doing, you know, solving puzzles and doing cool stuff and all that sort of thing. That's how I like to imagine myself. So, I like that duality between the two things. Not saying that I'm fighting through loads of darkness, but I mean, like, I love that there's the two sides to it. And one, like, Saga is quite silly and Bright Falls is quite silly, and there is a lot of silliness there that's really nice to enjoy, even though it's a horror game. And then when you go to Alan Wake's side, it's very, very, like, intense and dark and spooky, and there's all that stuff that I love in there. I think it encapsulates the things that I like, and also kind of like, I think I have like a personality who I am, like, that's amplified on camera, and I think I'm quite quiet at home. So I think having those two going against each other is quite fitting as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
Good answers.
I think we all answered well.
Yeah. Well done,
Well
everyone.
done, everyone.
Now, for the final thank you. Everybody look at the camera and say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
Very good. And now we move on to the comments of the week. So let's sing a little song, which I'm very thankful for, and that it exists is good.
Are we ready? Okay. It's time.
It's time.
It's time for comments of the week.
Oh, it's so nice when there's 4 of us.
It's so much easier
It's
when
so
there's
nice.
4 of us.
When
yeah.
Rob was singing back, I was like, does he know?
I know. I was like, you're not ready, Rob. He was like, I am ready. I was like, okay.
He knows how to do it. Right, so for this week's comments of the week, collected by the one and only Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. We are very thankful for you. We have one from Peter Penguin from the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Can Dave Beat Your Challenges stream, who says,
Yes, he
VOD
can.
Squad, hashtag Pod Squad.
Pod
Squad.
I love your horrendous content. And
What?
Alex,
This is not a thankful comment.
I love your horrendous content and accents. Watch every video stream. Keep it up, PS Access. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have in store for us. Hashtag Christmas Maze.
I think Rob looks confused. I think, Rob, that they're being sarcastic because there was someone on the stream who was like, oh, this is horrendous.
Oh,
or
yeah, I
something.
read that out.
Oh, yeah, I know. And, I hate these guys' accents. Those British accents. I got to go. I don't know why I've done an accent for them there. So I think that was, I don't think it's the same person. You just go like, yeah, hi, Pod Squad.
It's me,
yeah,
remember?
Yeah, I really
Hate you
do
guys.
hate you guys.
Your content's awful. Thank you.
It was actually a very funny comment. Well done.
Thank you, Peter Penguin.
We've also got one from Crazy Murdav from the same... Oh, no, from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Rob takes on the new Sandbox campaign. Who says, hashtag VOD Squad, hashtag Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
Although it's November, I'm feeling very Christmassy. What are some of the Access team's fave Christmas video game traditions? I like to start a new backlog game in the week before Christmas. Those trophies are like little presents. I feel like it's definitely backlog time at Christmas. I'll definitely go and play something that I've been meaning to, that I have time to. I also like to use it as platinum farming time, like a kind of mindless challenges and repeating myself. So if there's like something tough that I want to try and get a platinum on, I will do it then. I like that's just feels like just very easy gaming and not really thinking about it a lot. So I like doing that.
Mine is definitely like not doing what I plan to do. So like, I'll be like, I'm gonna tackle that backlog. I'm gonna play that game I haven't played, and then in reality, I will just faff about, probably play a bunch of bits of games, and just go, like a kid in a sweet shop, and not actually manage to do the thing I do, which is like, I love the idea of a Christmas game. I subscribe to the idea of a Christmas game. I have had Christmas games in the past, but if I, and I will tell you, I'm going to have a Christmas game this year, but I know really I will try and won't make enough time for it somehow, and then I'll be sad.
Yeah, Christmas is just so busy.
It is busy.
In fact, more than any other time of the year, I find Christmas now to be the most difficult time of the year to play video games, because I'm very rarely at home. I'm just going around visiting all my selfish relatives who decide to live on all the different sides of the country.
Yeah.
But usually if I do play anything at Christmas, it's often Skyrim with a nice mulled wine and some chocolates and twiglets and all the Christmas snacks, mince pies, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
And the smell of tinsel. Tinsel smells great. Yeah. Just on my tree. And
weirdly, I was picturing myself then with a Terry's chocolate orange.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'd love that.
Great.
Just a whole one.
A whole
and a
packet
game.
of After Eights.
And nothing to do.
I could
After
honestly
Eights.
go for an entire pack in one go myself.
Have you ever just bitten into a Terry's chocolate orange?
No, I'd love to.
How would you do that? It'd break your mouth.
Or you have to have powerful teeth.
I have to have powerful mouth.
I broke a plate, but I've never...
With your mouth?
No,
What?
with a Terry's chocolate orange.
Oh my God, I thought you meant you bit into a plate.
Yeah, me too.
You were trying to break the orange apart and you ended up smashing the plate instead.
Yeah, I put the plate, it was like a bowl. I put it on my bed and I thought I was like, this will work. And so I just slammed it down right in the middle and a hole went right through the plate.
Oh my God.
Well, like, it
I
just...
thought you meant like you punched through. That would be even more impressive.
Well, yeah, so the bowl was on my bed, so it was a soft surface it was resting on. So
That's your problem.
That was probably the problem. So I just put the Terry's chocolate orange on the base of it, and then literally it was like a little bowl thing, so a circle.
The whole base just came up.
Yeah, the circle. There was just a circle hole in the middle of it now, and I was like, Mum.
I need something else for my oranges.
It's the only time of year I eat Terry's chocolate orange. Don't know why.
It's
I could have one all year round. I love them.
There's just something not quite right about it, though, is there? Like mince pies. As soon as Christmas is over, I don't want to even look at a mince pie.
That's because you eat so many.
Yeah, you do eat a lot.
Yeah, but
I reckon I'm going to test this out. I'm going to bring you a mince pie in June if I can find one.
Oh God, no!
I reckon you will have forgotten this conversation. You'd be like, ooh.
Mince pie.
Definitely. I reckon that would happen. We'll see. If I remember, I'll do that.
Do it in front of us. I'll
I'll film
see
it,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll film
you've
it.
got to see this.
Kellen Brandy from the Most Unexpected Scary Moments in Games pod says, in regards to tattoo chat, simple answer. 4 presenters and 4 PlayStation buttons. 1 button for each presenter, maybe on the wrist or something. Great podcast as always. Enjoy these so much. Hashtag Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
Does that mean, I don't know, are they saying what would we get as a collective?
They didn't say what we would get, but like we'd get one each. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, should we quickly decide who
We do
gets
have to
which
assign.
one? I'd like triangle.
Oh,
You like triangle?
I
Yeah.
don't see you as a triangle.
I don't see me as a triangle either, but that's the one I want.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying I should
You're
get
the
it.
square.
It's because it's like
Your
pink.
circle.
You're the square.
I'm not the square.
You are. You're the square.
Why is Dave the square? What's the argument?
Because he's got Dave's got that square energy. I think.
What are you laughing at?
You square.
I'm triangle.
Yeah, you're a square.
I'm triangle.
I see Rob as a triangle. Genuinely, not even winding you up.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's pointy.
I don't know.
See, I see Rob as the X.
Oh.
Oh God.
Oh.
The X. Something about that.
The
sounded like.
confirm button.
I don't know. I just feel like you. Maybe it is the points.
I think it
Maybe
is.
it is.
You don't know how to handle him.
Yeah, I'm like,
which
ooh,
bit there? On a triangle.
Yeah.
Not on you. Don't worry. You're not that pointy.
No, no.
You're
I
human
pictured
shaped.
Ash as the square, Rob as the X. I did picture you as the triangle, and then I'd be the circle.
I see you as
Brilliant.
a circle because it's like just rolly.
I'm just rolling.
Katamari.
I'm just a circle. Like
The
there I
circle
am.
of life.
I'm just a curve, a big constant curve.
But
Luckily,
you see yourself as the X.
No, I didn't say that. All I said was I see Dave as the square.
Oh, who sees?
what do you
I saw
see
Rob as
yourself
the
as?
X.
I don't really know.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. But luckily, we don't have to do this.
We
No.
do. We need to nail it now. So we've got Rosie as the circle.
I like how mine's just easy. Everyone's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, Rosie's the circle.
So when you don't see yourself, but you want the triangle.
Yeah, I want triangle. Yeah, and Rosie said I could be triangle, so that's. I think we just go with what she said.
Okay, and then X triangle, and I'll be the square.
You're the square.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
You're the menu button.
yeah.
Yeah.
Traditionally,
Yeah. Well.
Or
But
the
you're
punch-
also, the
punch
attack button.
The melee button.
Yeah.
Or
that makes
reload.
sense.
Yeah.
Or the reload button.
All things I do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or shoot if you play alternate,
Yeah.
which
You
I
very
do.
much are the action button.
Oh, well, thanks, guys.
I'm the
Nice.
jump button.
Yeah.
You're the jump
Yeah.
and confirm button.
Confirm. Jump.
Rosie, you're back, but also
Go back.
magic. I always think of
Oh,
with circle. It's always like the spell attack, isn't it?
I'm the exciting button. I think
You're also
triangle's always like they. You've just described.
You're the look
Triangles-
button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look.
Examine.
Or just
triangle's
like
the retro back in the day when it was triangle to
Oh,
exit
it
rather
used to
than
be
circle.
back.
Yeah, you remember that?
nice. Yeah.
So triangle used to be the back one.
They actually-
Outdated back.
They actually have a meaning. All have a meaning, and I can't remember what they are. The
What do you
meanings,
mean?
but like the square is like the menu button, like Rob said, because it's like a little menu. Circle was confirm. And X was like back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And triangle, I can't remember what its little
Point?
its little
Is it-
kind of thing was. But anyway,
Okay. Well, I think we've done well there. We've figured that out.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad.
We have another comment from Shaherfi Sidin who says #Pod Squad,
Pod Squad.
#VOD Squad. Hi guys, amazing pod as always. This might seem off tangent, but if you guys wouldn't mind, would you guys ask Rob this question for me? Okay.
We don't mind asking.
Oh yeah, ask
I
away.
haven't read any of these, so I'm like interested to see what's coming. Recently, I was watching your Fall Guys Season 6 video, the famous "Look at this" and "You've caught me touching the precious" one. And in that stream, Rob and Ash were talking about how they've been playing Magic the Gathering. And Rob was saying how he would love to play Magic the Gathering on stream. Well, I recently found out there was going to be a Magic the Gathering times Final Fantasy collaboration slated for release in 2025. Does this mean we can look forward to a PlayStation Access Magic the Gathering stream then? Love you guys. Keep up the good work as always.
I forgot you guys had your Magic the Gathering breaks.
That comment could have just been like the last line.
That's a great response.
I don't know. I don't think so. We're a video game channel.
Well, maybe a community post if we find a really cool card.
Yeah,
I got-
we've not played Magic the Gathering for ages now.
No.
Yeah, you both really had a-
Ever since I asked for a deck for my Secret Santa present last year, and whoever got me a Secret Santa was kind enough to buy me one, I've basically just not played any more Magic.
I'm an undefeated champion.
Yeah, you
Yeah, that did
used
happen.
you used my green deck that time,
Yeah.
and just
I remember that. Yeah.
you had that Goliath ape or something, didn't you? And you're just
It was some
stomping
sort of
around.
incredible play. As I
Yeah.
remember it was like
It was a very
I saw the Matrix.
fortunate but well done.
I was like, I understand. I can see what I need to do.
I am one with the
Yeah.
Goliath ape.
I just
Yeah.
remember at Ash's cat deck
I love my cat deck.
and having to. I bought a particular deck just so I could beat that cat deck.
Yeah, and he did.
Beat it once and then never played Magic again.
Just made me feel bad, and then that cat deck is it's one of my earliest decks, and it's a bit broken. Like if you get the wrong draw, you just can't have a win with it. But if you get one specific card, then oh my god, it's the best deck ever. It's so good. A cat lifelink deck. I've been recently buying Baldur's Gate booster cards again though, because I saw that they had the Baldur's Gate Battle for Baldur's Gate crossover with Dungeons and Dragons. So I was literally just buying them until I got Shadowheart. Got Shadowheart now, everyone. Got it. And loads of really cool art cards. So I want to make a Baldur's Gate deck and maybe get back into it. So Rob, if you want to versus.
I'm always I'll be up for getting back into some Magic.
There we go then. Right. 2 more comments. One from Rocky Joker PL, who says #Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
Hi guys.
He missed it.
He didn't do it.
I love when we were like, it was like that awkward pause long enough that, oh no, it's gone.
Yeah.
The
It
train's
happens to me
left.
quite a lot. Like, if I haven't said something when I should, I just won't say it.
Yeah.
And often that happens to me when people say, Rob!
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's too long now for me to be like, yes. So the best option is just to not speak to them at all.
I love the idea of you saying yes like after 5 seconds of walking away. Yes. That would be brilliant.
You should start doing that. It's like your thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Pod Squad.
Hey! Nice.
So it says, hi guys, 2 weeks ago my daughter was born.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I've never been so behind with your content. I managed to get my gamer wife hooked on your videos and we love watching you while having lunch. We are awaiting this year's Christmas maze. They're always a blast. Love you. Keep up the good work and never change.
Aww.
Lots of chat about Christmas maze. Will there even be a Christmas maze this year?
I don't know. Will there?
Have you spoken to Robert S. Pearson recently?
We chat. We're all being very secretive. We've already filmed 10 episodes of whatever we're doing at Christmas. It's in the can. It's in the can.
It's in the can.
It's in the can.
Not the toilet. For our American listeners.
But we would put the lid down if so.
Don't start this
let's
again.
not
Next comment.
open this.
Next comment.
Last one from Cohen Walker, who says, #Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
I know it's technically not a main game mechanic, but I think there needs to be a special shout out for the magic effects in Final Fantasy XV15, such as snow accumulating on the characters when you use a blizzard spell. Just have to think about it.
XV, yeah.
Do you not get that with Roman numerals though? It's like, I know what they mean, but I have to take a minute.
Yeah, sometimes, probably.
If
Yeah.
it's like, even
I
with,
have to take a minute, but I don't read them as XV.
Oh.
I'll read it as like 10.5, and then I'm like 15.
oh, yeah, no, it's like XV.
With Final
add
Fantasy
together.
games, I don't see the Roman numerals. It's like different. I just see the title.
It's like the
and
shape.
I know it by the shape.
Oh my God, really?
And I know.
Final
I'll
Fantasy 16 and 14, I get mixed up all the time because of this said shape.
Yeah.
No, I just.
No, for me, it's
I can
Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. I always have to No, not 9. Sorry, 7 and 8 specifically, because I'm like, right, how many lines are there?
Yeah.
1, 2. Okay, so that's 7. 1, 2, 3. That's 8. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's the magic effect?
I said lizard, but it was a blizzard spell. When snow accumulates on characters when you use a blizzard spell.
In Final Fantasy 15.
Yes.
Have you experienced this, Rob?
Oh, I will have done.
Yeah.
Because I have the platinum trophy for Final Fantasy 15.
Whoa! That's the trophy
Just drop that in.
And yeah, I think I remember. There's like a whole icy bit, and yeah.
I love you looking at me. I haven't played 15 yet. It's in my list of ones I need to still play.
Rob's jaw just tightened as he said, I haven't played
You
it.
haven't played it.
I really want to play it, though. I do really want to play it.
Well,
But I just haven't got. There's been so many video
Well,
games.
you could look forward to the nice ice effects when you do.
well, thank you for that shout out, Kind. We enjoyed it all the same. Thank you. Now, we're going to move on to our final section, which is Before We Go. So, before we go, let's do Before We Go. All right, it's the final part of the podcast. Let's hear what you've been up to.
Auntie Ash has come to visit on Thanksgiving.
Oh my
What have you all been up to? Oh, you're so big from the last time I've seen you. So, Dave, what's been going on TV?
Oh, this is. I think this is unfair. Just because I do happen to have a TV show that I would like to talk about, it's just a coincidence. I'm not TV boy.
You are TV.
You are.
I'm not.
You're always
You're
watching
the most
something.
TV out of us.
I'm not.
Michael TV over here.
I've been. I have been watching. I was thinking.
That's why it should be the square.
Mike TV. No, shut up. I'm the triangle because I'm the play button. Yeah, I've been watching a series on Netflix, a Korean series called The Devil's Plan, and it's a reality TV show. It's like a sequel. I don't know if they're actually related, but to me, it's kind of like a sequel to another Korean TV show that I also watched on Netflix, which was called The 100. I think it was called The 100, and the idea of that was
that the physical 100?
It was the physical 100, yeah.
Or 100
Literally, my friend was just telling me on the train about both of these shows, and now I know exactly what show you're talking about with the one you're going to.
Right.
Sorry, I've just had a moment. I was like, this TV show that I literally have a whole train journey like talking about. So sorry, carry on.
Physical 100 is like a kind of, it's a reality TV show where they take 100 very fit people, but they're like fit in different. The idea is like there is all different kinds of fitness and athletes. You know, like from a big strong man who can lift 100 cars to like a sort of, you know, like really flexible gymnast who can balance on a single toe for 10 hours. And they were like, but what is the ultimate human form? And so they devised this TV show for 100 different kinds of amazing athletes to kind of compete. So they have rounds and they're all, you know, they focus on different kind of strengths and whatever. And I really enjoyed that show. It's really, and I always watch foreign language TV shows with the subtitles and the original soundtrack, but this one started playing with the English dub and I just fell in love with it instantly. I don't know why. It's just quite a funny dub, and the thing that they do, which I've never seen before, is they literally have a thought track for people. So sometimes you'll like they'll just show a guy like watching another person do like some amazing feat, and he won't move his mouth at all, and but you'll hear his thoughts. And you go, wow, he's really amazing. I'm like, how do you know? How do they know? And they do this all the time. It's like, wow, he could be real competition.
Is that
but
something that's just with the dub version? Like if you watch the original language version, would there be no thought?
I don't know. It's a great question.
They've just like added in some thoughts.
It's a great question. I don't know, but I fell in love with it for that, and then really got into like the competition. And it is like there are some amazing challenges and people just doing amazing things that made me feel so inadequate. Like wasted my body. I was like, oh, what am I doing with mine? It does nothing. But that's not the show I've been watching. I recommend that as well. But I've been watching, I think of it as kind of a sequel, and it's called The Devil's Plan, and it's like that but for brains. Ooh. And it's
that's the one I've
different kinds of smart people being faced. They all live in a house together, and they have these daily challenges where they kind of have to work together sometimes, or they have to figure out how to do it. And it's, you know, it's a bit like The Traitors in terms of people forming alliances and trust and stuff, as well as like these cool puzzles that they're very like in-depth puzzles. Sometimes they'll take literally sort of 5 or 10 minutes of real TV show time to explain the premise of the game that they're going to play.
It's like me trying to organise Halloween.
It's
going,
a lot,
and we all have a little thing and we do this.
But yeah, and it's obviously it's about those games, and then it's also about the like relationships and the backstabbing and the people thinking that they're being stabbed in the back as well. It's all very like tense in that way, and I'm just really enjoying it. And yeah, I think that if that sounds appealing, you should watch it. If it doesn't, then don't watch it. I don't know why I've said that. That's quite obvious, but like I think if you think that sounds like something that I'd enjoy, you probably will. And yeah, I've been really enjoying it, and I think I've just been enjoying lots of Korean TV on Netflix, actually. You know, ever since maybe Squid Game was probably the first thing that sort of brought it to my attention, but there's loads of good Korean TV on Netflix. Highly recommend seeking it out.
Great horror films as well.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nah.
There's one that's not really a horror film, but always gets lumped in with horror movies, called The Host, which you probably would like. It's about a big monster that comes out of a lake.
All right. Okay.
It's good.
All right. I'll give it a go.
It's more like a family drama though. It's good.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
Fun
enough.
for the whole family. Monster coming out of the lake.
Is anyone else a real flesh human or just me?
I was going to say, well, I asked Rosie, oh, is there anything you want to add on before we go? And she's like, I went to my friend's house for tea.
Yeah.
And we hosted the Golden Joysticks, Rosie.
Oh my God, of course. Sorry, I think that's because like that's still when it's like, oh, outside of work things and things like that. But of course, yeah, we did the Golden Joysticks.
I say hosted, we presented one award.
Yeah, we presented an award.
I like saying we hosted it.
Yeah, I guess Troy Baker would argue he hosted it, but like I think you can say he hosted it. You hosted that moment.
Very small small segment.
You did a very important segment, though.
It was PlayStation Game of the Year.
Exactly.
Me
Which
and Rosie.
was?
Stray.
That was Resident Evil 4.
Stray was last year's one. But
Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
I'd like to say officially, on behalf of Rob and I and all the people at PlayStation, I haven't asked them, but I'm sure they agree. You did a really good job.
Oh,
it was
thank
great.
you.
We thought that because we were streaming at the time, and we thought we were going to miss it. And we were sending people off to go in. We were on the stream. We were like, right, they should be on now. Go and watch Ash and Rosie present the golden joysticks. And people coming back saying, oh no, they've not done it yet. They've run behind. So we came out and we all gathered round my desk and watched you. Yeah, we did. Yeah,
sweet.
watched it, and we genuinely you both did a really fantastic time. It was funny and professional and lots of energy and just really good.
Came on, Amelia went, woo!
We were all I honestly laughed. You need to see this. Rosie just walks out and just goes, woo, okay. It was great. But we were all very,
and you
very
didn't
proud.
stay up there too long.
You didn't.
Which is a mistake that lots of people make.
Yeah.
They get up there.
But we were getting paranoid on the side because we were standing on the side for, I think that's probably why I went up and went woo, because we were just waiting. The anticipation was building. So that's why when we just got on stage, just sort of bleh, it just came out as a woo. But we were saying oh God, ours is really short compared to everyone else's. Do we need to do something else?
It's perfect. It's probably why they were running behind. It was really, really good. That's what you want to do.
Aww.
Just, make people go, oh, I enjoyed that, and then you go on. That's how you're welcome.
That's what we do.
We gave a little shimmy when Ian from Capcom came up. He was very excited. He came up and was like, ah!
Yeah, he ran at us like a bat. Honestly, you can't see it on the video because it's so dark from where he comes from. But he comes out the crowd with his arms going.
I loved it. I put my arms back. I was like, Ian!
It was Rosie and Ian, obviously, with all the Capcom stuff. You guys are pals. I was like, who's this man? But it was very funny. We had pictures with him as well, which was nice.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it was really fun. It was really good. And being able to give Resident Evil 4 an award is obviously... It's just always a great game.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
Every
about
time
that.
we've done it, it's been a great game.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. But yeah, Rosie also went to a friend's house for tea.
Yeah. I've got to be honest, Rosie, I'm less interested in that.
Why?
Oh God, I didn't expect that.
That's like saying you're not interested in my double compartment bin, Dave.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I've been foolish. I've been foolish. I want to hear about Rob going to see Uncanny Live.
I do.
Yeah, I was
as
going to
well.
say, yeah.
Yeah, well, I went, and it was good. It was really good.
What is
What did they-
where's the energy? You love Uncanny.
Yeah, I
This
do.
is where you told so many people about it on this very podcast.
It was great. I thought it was just going to be a live edition of the podcast, but it was much more than that. It was like a big theatrical production. They had Danny Robbins' shed, and they just did lots of cool things with it. They brought out the experts. So Evelyn Hollow came out and Chris French. So it wasn't Kieran O'Keefe at Bath, which I was a bit sad about.
Yeah.
Because I wanted Kieran O'Keefe. You want the main team. You want Kieran O'Keefe and Evelyn Hollow.
Yeah.
But they just did lots of cool things where they'd tell a bit of a story and they'd have lighting effects and sound effects, and Danny Robbins would be talking about, and she saw a ghostly figure walking down the hall, and just a shadow of a figure would be projected onto the
very
set
good.
behind him, and
Yeah.
and there was one bit where he was on her favourite toy when she was a child was this toy train, and he was playing with this toy train on stage, and then he'd walk across to the other side of the stage and he was like, and one day the toy train just moved by itself, and the toy train on the stage started moving by itself, and it was just loads
is
of cool
cool.
stuff like that, like props just all of a sudden flying across the stage, and big scream jump scares and all that kind of thing.
Were you jump scared?
Very close to being jump scared. Very close. Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'll do it in 5 seconds. Yeah.
But no, I
Did
enjoyed.
that work?
Sorry,
Did that work? Sorry.
did what work?
Did you have an internal flinch?
An internal flinch?
Yeah, at my jump scare?
No,
Oh, carry on then.
no. I'm quite resilient to jump scares. I've told you
Don't
this.
make this a thing.
I've told you this.
Yeah.
You know this. But it was a great time. And at the end, everyone had their copies of the Uncanny book and was queuing up to get a photo with Danny Robbins. And I was going to, but the queue was really, really long. So I didn't.
Yeah.
And I now regret it a little bit.
You got to go fast with them things. Like when it ends,
Yeah.
you got to go.
Well, I was sitting right at the front. So I was one of the last out. So by the time I got into the foyer, the queue was already really long.
So it's a whole theatre.
And I had to get back home. But yeah, I regret not waiting because I'd have loved a little photo.
I'm sure
Danny
they will be
Robbins.
back again, to be honest, because this has
maybe.
been a massive tour and it's been sold out everywhere.
They're still doing it now. It's still ongoing.
Yeah, I would love to go and see it. Maybe if it's anywhere around the Midlands at some point, I think I would go back for that. But I should have gone to the Bath one, and I thought, you know what, I'll let Rob tell me about it. And now I'm like, I should have just gone.
There were some good stories. They were talking about some local ghost stories as well. The Garrick's Head and the Theatre Royal, both places that we know of in Bath, apparently both haunted by a grey lady. Potentially the same grey lady, because the Garrick's Head and the Theatre Royal are literally right next door to each other. Yeah.
That one looks
Yeah, you need to breathe out now.
The audience were also telling a story about this place near Bath called Sally in the Woods or Sally of the Woods or something, and apparently there's like a disproportionate amount of
Sally's
car accidents of car accidents there, because when people are driving through,
Oh, you silly Sally.
quite a lot of people report seeing like a woman in their rear view mirror, like all of a sudden, and it makes people swerve.
Oh, you've just reminded me of a great ghost story in Bath that I heard from somebody I actually know.
Ooh.
Do we have time for it?
No, but let's hear it anyway.
Okay, so she was driving late one night and suddenly saw this man in the middle of the road, and he was dressed a particular way. I'm not going to do a good job of this story, I realise. And she swerved around him, and there was like a lorry behind her, and the lorry just went straight through him, and she was like, "Oh my God, I think that lorry's hit that guy." And she drove home, and she was like, was it, you know,
she drove home?
Well, I think she was very close to home,
Yeah.
and she was like freaked out, and she said to her boyfriend, like, I think I just saw a man get hit by a lorry, and we've got to go back and see. And so they drove back, and it was like, you know, dead of night, and they could find nothing. The lorry obviously wasn't there. There was no sign of anyone or anything, and she didn't think too much about it. And then I think like weeks later or sometime later, she got on the train to London at Paddington, and she got out and she saw this guy, and it was a statue of this guy, and it was him because he was dressed the way this guy had been dressed, and it was a statue to commemorate the lost lives in making the railway, and you know, many people died in just like tunneling and stuff, in accidents. And she looked into the history of it, and she realised that there had been a tunneling accident where she'd seen this guy on the road dressed in that way.
That's
my
a
God.
great. I love stories like this.
Yeah.
That's wild.
There you
Wow.
go. Yeah. Thanks, my
The person who told you that story, were they the person who was in the car?
Yeah, it was her story. She
wow.
she told me that
She
story.
should tell Danny Robbins that.
Yeah.
That's a great episode
Really,
of Uncanny.
Well, who needs that Uncanny when you've got the PlayStation Access podcast?
Let's divide up into skeptics and believers right now and debate what the explanations could be.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It is a good
Would
one,
you be a
isn't it?
skeptic or a believer?
I'm always a skeptic, but I'm a skeptic who is fascinated by the stories.
I believe in a third way.
I'm not like a skeptic like Secret Boss who's like, oh, they're just making it up.
Right.
I don't believe that at all.
No.
Anyway, let's not get into this now.
Skeptic or believer?
Oh, I'm a skeptic. I am a skeptic who believes. Yeah.
Skeptic or believer?
I don't know. I'd probably say believer.
Oh, Team Bikini Believers. Right, we're going to have to end it there because I believe this podcast is ending. I'm getting a sense coming over me. Thank you so much for watching, for listening. Don't forget to give us a like on your podcast platforms or on YouTube if you're watching on there. We'll see you again in 2 weeks with another fresh, hot episode of the PlayStation Access podcast. See ya. Bye.